Done been 2 weeks and I done forgot how to work the stuff.
That's all right, but I like the intro.
I
Did
don't
you just get grown on me?
Huh?
I said I like that intro.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, you got real grown before the countdown started. I said
No, it's actually three of them. It's three different ones. I got one that go like this. Yeah, three total.
okay. I'm not
Yeah.
messing with you.
I usually
I'm not gonna lie. Two
yeah,
and three is fire.
yeah, I usually play the normal one for this one, and I don't know, I just made a mistake and hit the second one.
And
But
I
the other
was like, I like that.
but the other two I usually play on like the acapellas and acoustic segments. And stuff
Right.
like
Okay.
that. Shout out to my man Diamond K for those tremendous graphics. But what's up, everybody? You are tuned in to another week of Access Granted, and man, I have missed you guys.
Yes, we have. Yes,
Oh,
we have.
2 weeks, man. What's been going on, sis?
Oh my gracious. Let me tell you something. A sister is getting booked and blessed. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that's
You just don't know when your opportunities come, and you have to always be ready. So I'm excited about another new venture that I've been asked to do. So it's just interesting how, your platform is opening up doors. People are watching that I'm not even thinking that are watching. And reaching out and asking, hey, can you, help on, once a month on this. I'm like, what? Your girl? What?
and this is why I try to tell people, man, you never know who's watching. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Don't get discouraged if you look up in that corner and you think only 2 or 3 people are watching, because even if
Mhm.
it's only 2 or 3, you never know.
Yes. Yes. And you just don't, because that's the thing, because replays occur. Like if you look at your numbers,
Right.
those numbers, your viewing numbers are greater than what you see on the day of. Like all of a sudden that by the time I look at it around 11 o'clock, I'm seeing 150 views.
Yep.
92, this and that, depending. So it just is really nice to see, because like not everyone wants you to co-host their stuff. Like
Of course.
they
Right.
don't, because you got to be careful, right? You have to be careful who you bring on as a co-host. And it was just so interesting. It was someone that I actually interviewed, right? Interviewed before. And he just, he saw when I post, hey, look at this, da da da, right? Being that he's looking for a co-host, looking for some segments for his show. And he was just like, let me go on and ask her. So she's able to not just do something on her own, but she's able to work collaboratively with someone. And and he asked questions of, how, you and I came up with kind of the flow. And I said, he just goes by the whim. Where, y'all, let me tell y'all,
Yeah.
God does, God bless you. But, and it's like, he just, it was just really good to see that, people are looking. And like I said, because of the fact that he could see that I could collaborate. So I'm not just, just coming on and being, Alenia, who's the life coach, just that's it. I'm also something else.
Yeah.
So the show is called Reach and Stretch. It's on Wednesdays, y'all. My God.
Congratulations, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, so I'm just like, oh my goodness. And when I say booked and blessed, it's for real, for real. Like, you just don't know how God is gonna just bring things forth.
Absolutely.
One thing changes for another thing that just kind of pop in, and it's just interesting. So it's gonna be great to see, and it's only once a month. So
Oh wow. Okay.
because the show is every week, but he needed a co-host to really talk about the things that I talk about.
Okay.
So it worked out. It's just like, okay, okay, let's do this. let's do this. So I'm really excited about that. And then, putting my stuff together. So please, y'all, go over to Alenia Renee on YouTube. Don't forget me.
Absolutely.
Don't forget me.
I won't let him forget you. I won't
Thank you.
forget you. That's dope, though. Congratulations. Well, I don't know why I chose you. I was just like, yeah, let me. I'm just playing. I already. You
You
so
did well. God led you right, right?
and with that being said, I definitely understand why he chose, to ask you. You know,
Thank you.
I,
Thank you.
I saw what he sees, so I definitely
Thank
understand.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Congratulations to you, man.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And I love seeing people, that rock out with me,
Yes.
opportunity.
And like I said, he definitely has been watching your show
Okay.
because he had to see.
Right.
He had to see.
Right.
Do I ask? Do I not? I'm thinking of it. Am I going in the wrong direction, bringing her on? And it was a right direction. It was a
You
right
don't know that until he gets you on there. So
direction. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know,
Right.
he's
Yeah.
going in the right direction. Trust me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Look, man, real quick, and then we're going to get into our guest tonight. I don't know if you guys had the opportunity to see the video that I did on Friday with my sister Tipsy.
Mm.
This was like 12 o'clock in the afternoon, so you were probably at work. This was like a real impromptu infomercial, so to speak, to officially announce the Access Granted signature drink. Bam!
Yay!
All of the paperwork is official and all of that stuff. And I want you guys to mark your calendars for Friday, October the 7th, 2022, from 6 to 10 p.m. We will be at, let me see, I'm going to make sure I get this name right. Lisa's Luxury Consignment Shop, 1501 Soulgrave Avenue, 21209. We were actually looking to do some pop-up shop kind of situations. And
Right.
this is a young lady that owns a consignment shop and just happened to be doing a pop-up shop on that day that, shout out to my sister Nina, the original party girl, is hosting. And I just hit Nina up and I was like, I know you are all over the place and you're doing all of this stuff. See if you can get me somewhere. And that event was available.
You got
Just
that.
And yeah, so we are officially just come out. We're going to be doing a free tasting, man. You can come out and sample the black cherry infused Long Island iced tea, as well as what we call a Baltimore half and half. Because in Baltimore, you got to have
it, right? With a chicken box.
You know what you order when you go get that chicken box or that so,
or a haddock sub.
yeah, whatever it is that you get, you always getting the half and half.
The half and half.
To make sure that we rep the city, man. And shout out to my sister and my partner Tipsy Fiend. Man. If you're available, just come out, man, and get a sample. Support the consignment shop, and then we'll also be doing pre-orders that night, man. So we want to flood the joint, man.
Very nice.
I'm officially like a, what do you call it? Like an alcohol distributor or something.
Yeah, isn't that what that is? You might have to have some ambassadors.
I don't know. Call it what you want, but
just
make sure you buy 2 or 3 of them when you come. You call me. Yeah, man. But excited about it, and
you should be.
It's just about expanding the brand. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Beyond, right?
To do something a bit different, and it's something that I had on my mind for a long time, and I kept putting it off and putting it off.
Right. Mm-hmm.
One day I felt a thud in the back of my head, and it was God saying, "Boy, what you waiting for? Come on."
We gotta get some people drunk. Didn't I say that before?
Hey, it's communion. We'll look at it as.
Pastor Phil, I hope you're not watching this.
I don't think he made it home from here yet. He just left about right before I came on air.
Did it?
Shout out to my pastor, man. We were all over the place on Saturday. We were down feeding the homeless under the expressway Saturday morning, and then we were in Essex for Essex Day most of that afternoon, and then late in the afternoon we were out at the African American Culture Festival out in Towson. One of our members, Minister Mishan Mobile, killed it.
I know.
Let me tell you, this is how hard this boy was rocking. You may not know him, but I'm sure that Darnell knows. There's a brother here. His name is Shaka Pitts. He's a hip hop legend here in Baltimore, and he actually runs a battle league here called a Pit Fight Battle League. As I'm standing there recording Mishan, he comes up and he taps me on the shoulder, and I look over and I was like, "Oh, it's my man Shock." He said, "Who is this?" I said, "This is a buddy from my church." He was like, "This dude is cool." When Mishan came off the stage, Shaka said, "Bro, I was all the way down there. I could hear you, but I couldn't understand anything you were saying, but I could feel you, and it felt like hip hop, and I had to walk up here."
Right.
And he walked up, and to me, I was like, "Bro, that's a super major." Yeah. And not only was he rocking, but he was rocking on the Heaven 600 gospel stage.
I saw that.
Rocking on the 600 gospel. When you're doing, quote unquote gospel or inspirational hip hop, and a serious hip hop head like Shaka feels that energy to he has to walk a couple of blocks to get to you. Powerful stuff, man. My boy did his thing.
You need to put together something, because you need Miss Dora. You need Mishan. I say you need Miss Dora. Remember Miss Dora that came on last 2 weeks, 3?
I got you. Yeah, the gospel. Yeah, the
rapper.
Yeah, and you see, I'm trying to get it connected with Loudmouth, man. But he hasn't responded. So yeah, Mishan's actually working on the project right now. But he's not a quote unquote gospel or inspirational MC. But he just has that ability to be flexible like that. You know what I'm saying? He got that opportunity from performing at our praise in the parking lot that we did at
right.
Ago. And that's why I said, always do your best when you're in front of the camera or you're on that stage.
Yes.
You never know. Mm-hmm. And bro, he had Lee Michaels on the side of the stage like he was at a Wu-Tang Michaels was like, I was like, yo, that's crazy.
And he wasn't shouting. He wasn't doing any shouting.
Absolutely. So yeah, shout out to my man Mishan. Nice. He definitely did his thing and represented well. And then also want to send prayers out to Pastor Phil, because he actually got rushed to the hospital or went to the hospital later on that night. But he's doing a little better now. Like I said, he was here today. And also want to send some shout outs to my cousin, officially, Kendra, who might be actually tuning in with us soon. Her mom is still in the hospital and not doing well. She's not doing well, but we all know who has the final say so, and that kind of stuff. Just continuing to lift them in prayer and pray that whatever God's will is that it's done, and we understand and everything. So
exactly.
My sister Key, what's going on, sis? So without further ado, man, I'm looking forward to chopping it up with this brother. I'm gonna let him finish chewing first before I bring him on the camera. He must have got hungry as I was.
That's because he listened to you tell him to go make a grilled cheese sandwich.
Nothing wrong with a good grilled cheese, bro. Ain't wrong with a good grilled cheese. What's going on, Key? Love you, sister. Thank you for tuning in. Shout out to my VLF Nation and my little buddy, as I call her. My little buddy.
Nice.
You ready, bro? Give me the thumbs up if you're ready, my man. You're gonna bring my man Darnyle Wharton up. My brother.
Was it good? Was it good?
What's good?
You like this, bro? No, she said, "Was it good?" You got it.
Was it good?
Oh, it definitely was good. It
Okay,
definitely was good.
okay.
You know, snacks in the basement. I'm in the man cave, so we got snacks in the man.
Oh, that's how y'all roll.
Snacks
That's
on
right.
deck. That's what we do. Snacks on deck. Always in the man cave.
Always.
Always.
What's going on with you, bro, man?
Man, I am. You know what? I am good. My father used to always say, every time I ask my father, "How you doing?" He always say, "I'm taking my battle, standing on my 2 feet."
I know that's right.
Absolutely.
So that's that. I've adopted that.
That's right.
I'm taking my battle, standing on my 2 feet.
I know that's right.
It's good to catch up, man. I know we were saying earlier, man, that it's definitely been a minute since we've connected, man. But
No.
I believe I met you through your wife.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Darnyle Wharton. Had her on the show way back when I was co-owner of the Worldwide Flavor Network.
Yeah, way back there. That's when I was like, yo, that's gonna be my man for 40 grand forever. Because you put the wifey on like back in the day, son.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And and then I think right after that is when I found out about your affiliation with the Baltimore Ceasefire movement. Shout out to my sister LNG, man. We had her on here. And, shoot, how long ago was that, Alenia? Maybe like 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah, it was several months
ago. Brought her up here and had a ball with her as always. Yes. It's crazy. I've known Ellen. Well, I'll say this. I reconnected with Ellen back when I started working at the state office building back in '95. But we knew at that time that we knew each other previously and could never figure it out until I told her to give me a little history lesson about herself and, her growing up in Baltimore. And she mentioned that she lived in Fairfield Projects. And as soon as she said Fairfield, I was like, boom, that's where we know each other from. So I've actually probably known Ellen since like 84, 85, man.
Wow.
And yeah. And love her to pieces, man. Shout out to her. Shout out to Erricka Bridgeford, man. Shout out to Jakia. Shout out to Ogun. I'm trying to get Ogun to come kick some bars for me on the acapellas and acoustic joint. and word on the street is Darnell is going to do a freestyle for us before the show is over.
I don't know who gave that word, but
I saw it in the comments. Someone did ask personally.
Yeah, somebody came on and was like, you know what? You know what the bad part? You know what the part about that is?
What's
is
that?
I think Keisha was down because when Ellen was doing hip hop karaoke, I got up there with the wife, and she beatboxed.
Stop playing!
Stop it!
Yeah, the footage is out there somewhere. It's out there because it comes up on my memories for Facebook. But yeah, we did a little something down at that, and I think a lot of people was like, "Oh my God!" It was like
that would have been me.
This is something we do. We retired. We not
right.
My man, on the mic up and everything. That's crazy. That's dope. I can see that.
You can see it.
I can see that.
That's all right.
That's dope, man. Again, shout out to the wifey, man. She's still doing great things, man. And I'm glad to see that black love that we.
That black love, bro. You can't. Once that black love kick in, there's nothing you can do about it. You in it. You can't go
right.
It
locks you in. You can't do nothing. You just there.
I ain't been able to do nothing more than this for almost 30 years now, man.
Right.
And you love every second of it.
Love you, say. Just in case she right up above me.
Right, exactly.
But we can start with the ceasefire, man, because I've been following that movement since the beginning. In fact, I used to have some members of the ceasefire come on the show every quarter.
Right.
Right before the ceasefire weekends, man. So just talk a little bit about how you got started in the movement and your involvement with it.
So it goes all the way back. You remember 300 Men March?
Mm-hmm.
Brand and everything. So I was a part of 300 Men March, and Erricka was a part of 300 Men March also. So we kind of met through there, and then when that disbanded, we we decided to do this thing called Village Keepers, because a lot of the people that was from 300 still wanted to do something. So we came up with this thing called Village Keepers. We would partnering with other groups and just doing stuff, resources, giving out food giveaways, stuff like that. But that became just an online thing after a while because people started doing their own thing. So in 2015, Erricka and Ogun had a conversation about murders in the city, and Ogun had just seen a special on I think it was one of them shows that do documentaries. They were talking about ceasefire between countries that come together and decide that we're not going to fight anymore, not going to be any wars, and we're going to do a ceasefire. Right. And he had seen that a special like that the night before. Ken and Erricka said, we should do a ceasefire in Baltimore City, tell people to stop killing each other. And she said, you know what? Somebody ought to do it. Who's going to be the one? So in 2015, that conversation never happened. They never, it was at a 300, men march meeting, but they never had that conversation. So 2 years later, Erricka was in a car with her son, and her son told her, "Mom, do you know that right now Baltimore has the highest murder rate that it's ever had since the beginning of time? Since the beginning of Baltimore, it was the highest." And she was like, "What? Somebody ought to do something about that." And she remembered the conversation that she had with Ogun. So she called Ogun up and she was like, "Remember we had that conversation and blah, blah, blah. I think we ought to, talk more about it." And they did. And they became the co-founders. And she started finding people who she wanted to actually start this movement with. That's when she contacted Ellen. And she contacted Michelle. And she contacted Jakia. And I think a week or so in of them talking, she was like, wait a minute. I need my man. Called me up. And she was like, yo, you want to do this thing in Baltimore? We trying to stop the people. We're telling people 72 hours, nobody kill each other. And it was only supposed to be for one weekend.
I remember. Yeah.
I'm in. I'm in. I love Baltimore that much. Yeah, people got to stop killing. You know me for 300. Yeah, we in. And it was only supposed to be one weekend. We was only supposed to do it that one weekend. And next thing you know, we did it that one weekend in August, and we had the meeting afterwards on that Monday. And everybody was like, we need to do this again. Again, Erricka was like, all right, well, we'll do it again next year. And we're like, all right, okay, we're planning for next year.
Right.
And then we got into we have our chat that we do. So we got into our chat. We was like, we could actually do this 4 times a year.
Gotcha.
And it ended up coming 4 times a year. We was like, all right, we're going to do this 4 times a year. August, first weekend, and August, November, and February. But in May, we're going to do the second week because we want to honor the mothers and fathers of kids who got lost to violence in Baltimore City.
Wow, okay.
So 4 times a year, that's when we decided that in 2017, that's when we said we're going to start it 4 times a year. And since then, it's been kicking off like that.
Nice.
And it's funny that we're having this conversation now because November Ceasefire, the next one coming up, is going to be the last one under Baltimore Ceasefire 365 name. We're totally rebranding, new logo, new everything. So next year, February, is going to be the brand new movement, formerly known as Baltimore Ceasefire 365. And the reason why we're doing that, and I thank you so much for being on this, brother, because we're about to start this whole campaign to try to push people. Is we decided that we're going to stop talking about what we don't want and talk about more about what we want. So we just came off our retreat that we did about a month or so ago, and we talked about how, if you look at it, there are more peaceful people in Baltimore City than there is violence. So peace reigns in Baltimore City. It's just that people concentrate on the violence.
Right.
And we talk about stop shooting, stop murdering, nobody kill anybody. And even in the name Baltimore Ceasefire, we talk about what we don't want.
Right.
So we decided to change and rebrand the movement into talking about what we do want. So instead of saying murder has no dominion over the city, we're going to start saying peace reigns over the city.
Nice.
Instead of saying it's an anti-violence movement, we're going to say it's a peace movement.
Gotcha.
You understand? And instead of saying nobody kill everybody, it's going to be, everybody should love everybody. And it brings about more peace and love because what you exude and what you want and what you want to happen is going to be what goes to the atmosphere.
Right.
Instead of talking about what we don't want, because if you keep talking about what we don't want, that motion or that emotion is still in the atmosphere of what we don't want.
Yeah.
Right.
We want to take the attention strictly off of the violence and the murder, talk more about the peace, the love, and the light. And because we always name this as Baltimore's movement, we're gonna let Baltimore name it.
Mm.
We're gonna let Baltimore graphic artists come up with the logos and let Baltimore choose the logo. So come February, it's going to be a whole brand new movement, formerly known as Baltimore Ceasefire. However, I don't know if you've seen it lately. Ogun had put out there that we're selling off all our gear, with discounting it because we want people to have the classic gear.
Right.
All the stuff that we got, we selling it at a discounted price. So come February, it's going to be the brand new movement that whatever Baltimore decided to name it.
Right.
So I'm locking y'all on the calendar for like mid to late January, right?
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
That's gonna be nice. Bringing in the new year.
Most definitely.
Okay, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. But I feel like for all of us that understand Baltimore Ceasefire and what it's about and what it is that you guys are trying to accomplish, for every one of us, there's like 10 naysayers, man. And I remember listening to
of course.
I remember listening to 105.7 The Fan, the Big Bad Morning Show, one morning, and they were talking about the violence in the city. And they had our ex-police commissioner as one of their hosts, Ed Norris, the man who accomplished absolutely nothing for the time that he was in office. And he said that he felt like the Baltimore Ceasefire was one of the dumbest things that he's ever heard of in his life. And I'm like, bro, like, you had some time.
When he said that,
I'm like, bro, you had some time at the top, to make some things happen, and you did absolutely what you wanted. So I'm saying that to ask the question, what do you say to, not only idiots like him, but yeah, he's an idiot, but our citizens in the city who hear about the ceasefire, but then they say, well, what good does it do? Because there's always somebody getting killed over the weekend or such and such. They don't think about the fact that the ceasefire starts on Friday, and there may be a murder, but that murder might not be until Sunday afternoon or Sunday night. So you've gone X amount of hours, you know what I mean, over the ceasefire.
Without it.
Right.
They don't look at those small victories, you know what I'm saying, and understand. So what is it that you say to those people?
So the first thing that we always say is that with people, because the news would also say that the ceasefire was broken and is not successful. Like it's never broken. Like every ceasefire weekend is always successful for the fact that you had a bevy of residents in Baltimore come together in the name of peace and say, I'm going to throw this event because I want it to be peaceful. And what we also say is we understand that this is a movement that people are not going to understand.
Right.
But if all we ask you, can you be peaceful? What can you do to be peaceful? Can you hold your block down? Like, can it not be murders? Can you be a peaceful person through your word, your actions, and your thoughts? Because peace exudes from the person.
Right.
So if I wake up on Friday morning on ceasefire weekend and I come out and I'm like, I'm mad, I'm angry, I want to be violent, right? And I I'm walking down the street and I see somebody having a ceasefire event, and they're talking about, hey, peace and love and don't kill nobody and handing out posters and everything. And I look at it and I'm like, oh, okay, well, all right. I'm not going, you know what? And it may change your mind towards peace. And then that peace in you will exude to the next person. Because now somebody may have seen your whole countenance change. And they look at him like, okay, all right, well, if that person can be peaceful, then I can be peaceful.
Right.
Because all we asking you or anybody in the rest of Baltimore is, what can you do to be peaceful? Every time somebody talk about that, I bring up this one story. We were on Emerson Avenue, bro.
Of all places.
And there were some young corner boys out there, and we were doing our ceasefire. Outreach, and a couple of them was like, I don't know if this is going to work. Somebody always killing, somebody always doing this, somebody always robbing, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if it's going to work. I like what y'all doing. It sound cool and everything. It's whatever. So we were like, all right, but what can you do? And they were like, well, no, don't worry about us. This block will be all right. We're going to make sure our block, it ain't nothing going to happen on this block. And we were like, well, thank you for that. That's if you talk to the people on the block up there and the block down there, then you got 3 blocks that's going to be peaceful during the ceasefire weekend.
Right.
And if they could talk to a block and they talk to a block, it's kind of like a pyramid club. It goes on and on and on, and you don't know, your whole neighborhood could be peaceful. But then this one cat that was standing there the whole time. We was about to leave, and he said, hey, can I have one of them posters? Because I want to put it on my wall, and I want to focus on it for the weekend on what I can do.
That says something. That's huge.
And it was like, right then and there, it was just me and Erricka and somebody. We was like, yo, see, this is what it's about.
Yeah.
The cameras are not going to be around for this type of thing right here.
No.
Like, people not going to hear about the fact that you had somebody that was probably thinking about, whatever I'm gonna do tomorrow or the day afterwards, or I'm gonna smack you in the mouth when I see him, blah blah, saying, you know what, just for this weekend, I'm gonna concentrate on peace.
Right.
Let me see how that works for my life. Because I've never tried it before, and these people came up here with these strange looking shirts on and these posters and these flyers, and they're talking about this peace stuff. Let me see how that works for me. Right. So he took the poster and everything. Now, I think I went back around there maybe a week later and saw that same young cat. He's like, hey, man, what's going on? How you doing, man? He said, hey, I still got my poster on the wall.
Nice.
He said, my poster on the wall. And I'm, he said, you know what? I'll be trying. I'll be doing it. I'll be trying.
He said, I'll be trying.
I'll be taking the peace challenge every day. So, I'm trying. And that's what it is. So when we hear people like the old commissioner saying, we see North saying stuff like that, it's like, I understand where you're coming from because you don't understand it, and maybe you feel like peace is a forgotten thing, but you got people out here that we're actually touching, that are changing the way they act. So it's not about whether or not what you see, is about what's happening, which is why we're also changing it.
I was just about to say that.
To change the thinking. So so as Antoine asked, what do you say to those naysayers? So how does someone that's not, let's just say they're not in Baltimore City, they're not, what would you say to them to, hey, how can I help? How can I be a part of this? But I don't live in Baltimore City. I'm not feeling the impact in that way, but I do understand the need.
So we have people in the city like, how can I help? So we ask people to share our logo.
Okay.
And change their profile pic to our logo. And here's what happens when you do that. A lot of people have long-time pictures on their profile pic, or they have a theme of what they put their profile pics. Maybe a picture of them, their mother, their grandmother, kids, animals, whatever. But if they change it, when they change it to the ceasefire logo, somebody is going to ask, what is it? Right? Gotcha. And that means they get to explain to them what it is.
Right.
Why, and what they're doing in Baltimore. The best part about that is we had somebody change it in other states, and they actually decided to do a ceasefire of their own. So they were like, how can we do it? What can we do? We're like, yeah, you can have our logo. You can put your cargo on if you want. You know what I'm saying? This is what we do. This is how we do it. Because the movement is not mine or ours. It belongs to the city. So peace don't just belong to one person. Peace belongs to everybody. So if anything that you want to do to exude peace, take it and do it. Hagerstown Jail did a stop drug use for the weekend. So all the inmates stopped using drugs.
Nice,
Crazy.
Right.
But they changed our logo where you got the gun. They had a needle. They had a needle.
Okay.
And the thing about it is, when you we figured out, when you allow people to grasp their own narrative of something instead of telling them what they got to do, or telling how it should go, or this is what you should do. When they're able to do it from their own heart and be like, all right, this is what I want to do, because we don't tell anybody what to do and how they should do it. We said, if you want to do an event, we're gonna put it on our calendar and we're gonna push people to your event.
Gotcha.
And it could be as big as an event or as small as it is, but it's your event for Baltimore Ceasefire weekend. So that's one way. We ask people to change their profile pic. We ask people to take the peace challenge every day. On our website, there's something that says take the peace challenge. And basically what that's saying is, today I'm challenging myself to be peaceful.
Right.
And we all know it's a challenge, because sometimes people pop off and, hey, wait.
Right.
Go.
I've been trying to be peaceful all day, and you come and steal my joy.
My wife be popping off sometime, boy, and I be like, what?
But check it out though. If you in the beginning of your day, you took the peace challenge, for some odd reason, you're always going to think back to that moment at the beginning of the day. I took the peace challenge. You know what? Go right ahead. You go right ahead. You know what I'm saying? Right. And another thing about the Baltimore Ceasefire is, when we went out and we did outreach and we talked about peace and we talked about love, it's something that you can't unhear anymore.
Right.
So you could be like, yo, that's 3 years from now, that Baltimore Ceasefire movement was whack. The fact that you're talking about is the fact that now you know it exists. And when somebody said, well, what was Baltimore Ceasefire? Now you're forced to talk about what it was.
Yeah.
And in your description, you're going to say, well, they talk about being peaceful in the streets.
Right.
However you say it, you're still talking about the fact that there was a peace movement. Or there is a peace movement in my city.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, bro. It started out as just the Baltimore Ceasefire, and then at some point you all changed it to Ceasefire 365.
Yes.
Yes. What was it that made that change happen? And then what is it that you all do in between ceasefires, so to speak?
So,
because the ceasefire is only quarterly, right? Yeah.
The work always happens. So, in that last meeting on Monday, people were talking about, well, what are we going to do after this? And we were like, well, we're going to continue you're always going to continue to do the work of handing out resources, gearing people, trying to improve people's lives. So what we did was 365 came on because we decided we were going to do ceasefire churches. We got ceasefire schools. We recruited ambassadors that can speak like us and explain the movement like us. So we got like 40, well, actually, I'm sorry, not 43. We got like 60 ambassadors now, youth and adults. Nice. That in the meantime, whatever they're doing in life, they also, when they get a chance, they talk about the Baltimore Ceasefire.
365.
365. It's no matter what. When we make appearances like today, there was no way I could have got on here and not mentioned 365. I could have took this down and not wore a shirt or whatever. We could have talked about everything else, but I guarantee you, somewhere along this conversation, Baltimore Ceasefire would have came out.
Right.
Because we live in Baltimore and we want to have peace in Baltimore. So we got the ceasefire schools, we got like 5 ceasefire schools that basically during every ceasefire weekend, they do an event. And we train some of the students on how to be ceasefire ambassadors in their school. And when they get the posters and the flyers, and it goes up and all around the schools, and they do events and they talk to the other students and everything. Ceasefire churches that do ceasefire events during ceasefire weekends. Ceasefire communities. Like whole communities, associations that when ceasefire weekend come around, their whole community association does ceasefire events. So it's something that happens all of the time, because even outside of ceasefire weekends, they're doing something or somebody's doing something. So on top of just the 6 of us making appearances, we got 60 ambassadors, we got ceasefire communities, we got ceasefire schools, we got ceasefire churches. Like it goes on and on and on. Now the best part about it is like now the people are like, so what are we going to be called in January? But like, we're going to let you know.
They like attaching themselves to something.
Yes.
You know, even though they know they're doing the work, having the name just validates what they're doing.
Right.
Just having the name. So that's probably why they're like stuck on it. Like, I want to know that name.
Tell them to tune in to Access Granted on a particular Monday in January.
Yeah. And you will find out.
Tell them to tune in. And you know, I mean, we can talk about the ceasefire all night, man. But you're also doing, you know, some work with another great group of brothers that I love called the Band of Brothers, man.
Yes.
B.O.B. is deep, bro. Y'all.
B.O.B. brothers. Yes.
Y'all, between the Band of Brothers and Black Daddy Gang, man, it's an entirely enormous movement. And a lot of people don't even really know about it. Honestly,
I know I didn't.
Right.
But talk a little bit about what you do.
Band of Brothers came about. I don't know if you remember. In DC, they were talking. It was like in 2017. All these kids that were missing, the girls that was missing in DC, and they were saying, you know, where these girls at? You know, blah, blah, nobody knows where they are. So me and Pop had got together, and we was going to get some brothers together, and we was going to go to DC and start knocking on some doors. Like, yo, where these kids at? Y'all got to know something. So it's gonna be like 40 brothers from Baltimore just coming up, like knocking on people's doors, like, yo, where these kids at? And then that's when the report came out that something downloaded crazy into the police department's computer, and these kids really wasn't missing at all.
It's crazy.
However, we decided to stay together and be like, you know what, we got to do something in Baltimore City, because most of us were over 300, and we said, you know what we're going to do. So we decided to become a group of brothers that were a group of Black men that were going to be a help and a resource to any other group that was doing stuff in the city. So if somebody was doing something in their neighborhood and you just needed the Band of Brothers to come through just to be a presence, we were going to do that. If you want Band of Brothers to come by to mentor the kids, we was going to do that. Like we were just Black men that were making ourselves available. You know what I'm saying? And because a lot of people are saying, yo, we're all Black men. Yo, we right here. What you need us to do? Where we at? You know what I'm saying? And when we got together, it also started as we were kind of the security for the Sacred Seven, the sacred space rituals that Baltimore Ceasefire was doing, because Erricka was doing, sometimes she's doing by itself, and you know, Ellen was doing them, but we would be there as a presence while they were blessing these spaces.
Okay.
And it just and then after that, we decided to do the Squeegee Boys. So we adopted a corner, basically. We adopted a Squeegee Boy corner for a while. We put them in t-shirts and everything. You know what I'm saying? We would get them their supplies, we brought them food, and we would mentor them. And this was back before the squeegee thing became a big issue. Our corner was the one on Hilton, and then we had one on Washington Boulevard. We would visit those brothers like once or twice a week, and we would bring them supplies, and we'd check up on them. We'd say, hey, you know, we would give them advice like, hey, if you got a motorist that doesn't want your service, just move on to the next car. Or if they pop off, just move on to the next car, because we were using our conflict mediation skills. You know what I'm saying? And we were like, and this was back before, like now it's such a big thing. And it's kind of bringing me back to, I sent the proposal down to City Hall, but we ain't going to get into that because I'm a little bit upset about that whole thing. But anyway, we sent the proposal, but we were actually doing the work as Band of Brothers, you know, with the Squeegee Boys, with the Squeegee Entrepreneurs. We call them actually we call them Squeegee Entrepreneurs. And that was on their T-shirt with Squeegee Entrepreneurs, because that's what they were doing. They were working. They weren't out there selling drugs. There wasn't nobody knocking nobody in the head. They was actually just trying to do the work. So that's what, you know, that's what the Band of Brothers was doing, and that's how that came about.
Yeah. And you mentioned the sacred spaces, and I just wanted you to touch on that real quick. I know what it is, and I think it's a beautiful thing for the families But just talk a little bit about what it is that Erricka and Ellen and everybody does when they go out to the sacred spaces.
Right. So it started out as Sacred Sevens. And what we would do is after somebody was killed, 7 days later, we would go to that space and we would pour love and light into that space. And we invited everybody to come to that space and they could sing, pray, dance, whatever it was that we could put positivity into that space where violence was. It now turned into a space of love and light. So imagine this. And I remember I said this to Ericka and it blew away. Baltimore had 360 some odd murders in 2017, 2018. And we were able to do the sacred space rituals in all of those spaces. So you are now having people walking through Baltimore City and walking past these spaces that were no longer considered violent to us, but it was a space of love and light. So they're walking through love and light instead of walking through, there's the place where Rock was murdered. It was, no, this is the place where we recognize his name and we pour love into this site. So now you got 365 spaces of love and light throughout the city instead of 365 spaces of place where people were killed.
Yeah.
So
I remember, I think it was like 2 years ago, Ellen had did one. And I just remember her posting this picture where she was standing in the, right in the area. And there were just like 6 or 7 kids that were just, sitting around her in, Indian style position. And, some of them had candles. Some of them were writing on the street.
Yep.
And I was just like, man, this is what that is about. You know what I mean? Like, that's serious. And I think you said it was 7 days, but didn't it get to the point where they were doing it almost immediately after?
After a while, it was like we was going there immediately. If we got a chance to go to it, and we started putting it on our schedule and our calendar and who could do them and when they could do it. So now we try to hit everyone, and it may not be 7 days, it might be 2 weeks, but we're going to try to we try our best to hit every one. So that's every year we're doing this because we understand that in a neighborhood where a murder happened, people will focus on the fact of the murder and the violence. But if you come into that neighborhood and you bring love and light and prayers and singing and joy, it becomes a space of the neighborhood goes. I remember we went out and we actually prayed over that spot.
Right.
And we lifted up that person's name, and that person will be fighting for us on the other side. And it's now a place of peace now. And we can walk our neighborhood thinking, not thinking about the murder, but thinking about the love that we poured into that space for that person. And his name, their name will always ring with love and light.
So when you go to these spaces, does the police also come to be a part of it, or is just the community?
Well, we invite anybody, and there's been times that police officers have pulled up and actually, asked to be staged and will stand there, will pray with us and sing with us, and if it's really dark, they will be out there to help protect, the area. But we know what y'all are doing, so we just gonna be here just to make sure nothing kicks off and blah. I mean, people haven't. When you get to the point where people are accepting that you're doing something for peace, and not just out there just willingly doing something. Because officers will be like, we know what y'all doing. We got you covered. We're gonna be up here at the block.
Right.
We're gonna make sure
that question.
You know what I'm saying? And it's beautiful when you get people that really understand that these people are not out here just doing this to be seen. They're actually out here because Erricka would do stuff. She would sage the trees around because they're living things. Because the tree was affected by the violence. You know
Absolutely.
What I'm saying?
The ground, yes.
The ground. Like all the living things around was affected by this violence that happened here. So we sage everything.
Oh,
People have actually drove up, stopped, jumped out of the car and said, yo, can you smudge me, please? Because they understand.
That's so nice.
They understand about warding away evil spirits and bringing on love and cleansing the area and cleansing the air.
Right.
And it's something about when you experience that ritual, you're not going to walk away thinking violence. You're going to walk away thinking, what can I do that I don't end up there, or what can I do to big up the name of this person? how can I be peaceful now that I done seen all these people come around and pour love into the spot for people that we didn't even know?
Right.
Like we went to one space and it had to be like 30, 40 people there, and the person came out like, did anybody know this cat? And we were like, nah. But we came here to pour love into the spot.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, and it's interesting that you say that because how, the community, sometimes people come out and they're just like, you know what, hey, please sage me, right? And we all go to church, people go to church. How active is the church involved in what you're doing out there? Because some churches are like saging. No, that's not what we do. When they think it's evil, when it's not, it's really not. It's like any kind of detoxification that you have. You take what is that, Mylanta, whatever, to make you go to the bathroom, right?
Right.
To detox your system. That's what saging is. It's
a cleansing.
It's a cleansing.
Right.
And it's not saying that you don't love the Lord. It is not saying that you're not honoring that God is the head of your life and that he's the author and finisher of things.
Right.
You're giving people something tangible that they can see at that moment.
Right.
And that's what that sage represents. It's, helping to get their thoughts to change so that their feelings can change, so that their behaviors can change.
Yep.
That's all that is.
So we have had some pushback from some churches, but here was the greatest part. So when our first weekend, and we didn't have any money. We were just getting donations from people, and Kingdom Life Church on up by Emerson Village. That was our first ceasefire church. They grasped us. They pulled us in. They saw what we were doing. They brought our first posters and flyers. Like all of our first posters and flyers that we did for the first ceasefire, they brought them because they saw what the movement was about and said we want to get behind them. And every ceasefire, while Kingdom Life Church was there, that's the church we went to on every Sunday after every ceasefire.
Right.
To worship and praise with them, and they bigged up the Baltimore Ceasefire movement, and other churches have jumped on and like, hey, yeah, we want to be a part of that. And yes, we did. See, like me, I mean, I'm a full lifetime member of Empowerment Temple AME.
Yep, I saw that.
So here's the thing: we got me, who's been in the church all my life, Jakia, who's a Christian, Michelle, who came up in Baptist church, Erricka, who is spiritual, Ellen, who knows God, Ogun, who knows God. Like it's there. So we were saying it's if you think that we're doing something that you consider evil, why would I be involved in that?
Right.
That's not what this is. And people were grasping onto it, and they saw the love in it, and they saw the peace in it, and people started coming around. Like you're always going to get, like you said, we're always going to get naysayers. We're always going to get somebody to be like, that sage is witchcraft or and all of that. And they're like, just like a gun, all right? Just like you got a gun. A gun is not going to do nothing to you if it just sits there all night long, all day long, all year long. It can sit on that table and nothing happens. It's still a gun, but somebody picks it up and then use it. That's when it becomes an instrument of violence.
Right.
Same thing with what we do with sage. We ain't witches out here.
The craft.
I'm not a warlock. You know what I'm saying? We use this sage to cleanse and bring peace.
Right.
Now, if we was out there with a bubble tool and trouble with if we was doing all that, then I can see somebody be like, yeah, I don't know. But no.
Right.
We use the sage to cleanse and bring and ward off evil spirits and cleanse the area where violence was. Yeah. So
to open it up to light. That's what we don't realize. It opens it up to light.
Exactly.
And it's a true outward representation of that opening up to light.
Right.
That's all that is. And that's why I was just like, wait a minute, let me ask this question because I know you said you had some ceasefire churches.
Right.
So I was interested in finding out how other churches that if they participated, they might not be a ceasefire church, but participate when you come out to do those sacred times.
And it's been Baptist, AME, Lutheran, Episcopalian. One of them, I forgot what the other one was, Presbyterian, I don't know, but it's many different religions, but it's all talking about. I think when you get to the crux of a major religion, it's always going to come back to peace, love, and light in any religion. So if you're following religion and you say I can't get with peace, love, and light, then what are you actually following?
Right. I don't want to follow that.
Right. Right. Exactly.
You're not going to follow that.
And the one thing that I think is very important is that it's also not just a black thing, man. I remember driving up Charles Street, going up towards 33rd, like over where Johns Hopkins University is, one day on a Saturday during ceasefire weekend, man, and I saw about 7 or 8 white people standing outside with Baltimore Ceasefire posters and everything. And it shook me so much that I told my wife, I was like, yo, spin around the block and come back. And I got out and took some pictures with them and talked to them. And they were like, yeah, we're just out here just trying to spread the word.
Yeah.
Oh, and these were like senior citizens. These weren't, these were like, so it's not just a black thing because violence isn't just a black thing. Murder isn't just a black thing. You would think it is. You would think it is when you listen to
things go right.
You would think
we even had Quakers, like we got Quakers that we got one of our Quakers as an ambassador.
Wow.
So the peace, love, and light is going to attract you no matter what you do. It's going to attract everybody because at the end of the day, don't nobody want to get killed. Don't nobody want to get. Don't nobody want to. You don't really want to kill nobody.
Nope.
It's when you look at the whole crux and process and everything, when you dig deep down and you sitting by yourself, you go, my life probably would be much better if I were more peaceful. If I were more peaceful, my life would be much better. I don't always want to be getting into arguments with somebody, running, we going back and forth, we clapping, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like, what, do you really? I'm like, you know what I'm saying? You really sit down and go,
right.
How can I be peaceful in this situation?
Yeah.
It's kind of like mediation. All like it hit me, Erricka, Ellen, Michelle, Jakia, we're all mediators. We all came out the community mediation program. We're all trained mediators. And this movement is based off of conflict resolution and mediation principles. Because we've seen the change happen at a mediation table. I've seen two people sit down and talk it out, hear and understand each other. And one person goes, I never knew you felt like that. If I'd have known you felt like that, I wouldn't have done what I did.
Right.
Because they had a chance to sit down and yell it all out and then get to a point where this is how I felt. And I'm hearing how you felt. And I'm listening to how you felt. And I'm understanding how you felt. And I'm like, I would not have done that if I'd have known you felt like that. The same thing in our streets. If two people that are having a conflict are able to stop and go, what exactly is your problem with me? And they talk it out. And there may be some curse words, there may be some yelling. But at the end of the day, I heard exactly why you're upset. And now you hear why I'm upset. And we go, there is a way to work this. Like, we don't really have to go here. What can happen right now? What can you say to me and what can I say to you to make us both go, you know what? I get it. My bad. Or I get it. And we just going to agree to disagree. And we just going to turn around and we're going to walk away. Because then if those two people can do that and walk away, the news that night won't be reporting that there was a beef in the streets and somebody got shot.
Right.
They'll say, if somebody saw it, they can say, well, I saw that beef. They talked it out. They talked it out and one walked away and they went home.
Right.
That's what the movement is about. The movement is about what can you find within yourself to be peaceful, and how can you exude that peace? And if I can find, if in the midst of a conflict, I can actually dig into myself and be like, hold on, wait, bro, bro, hold on. How have I hurt you?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that I did wrong?
Right.
Explain to me what I did wrong so we can talk about it. And then we talk about it and we go, you know what? You right. I was wrong, bro. I apologize. My bad. If you could take that, we could both walk away from this and go our separate ways. I only got to talk to you tomorrow, but we're both walking away from the situation alive.
Right. Well, I when you were talking and I love what you're saying, because it's the truth that conflict resolution is huge, whether it's in the city, county, wherever, right? What are you, and I heard you saying that you have some ambassadors that are in school, which I'm pretty sure those are high school students.
Right.
I know for like elementary school, especially in the city, because I have a sister girl that teaches, two sister girls that teach in the city, and they do social emotional learning. And how is, your organization tapping into starting there? Because sometimes starting early, learning that conflict resolution, can just make a huge difference
Right.
later on. So is your organization doing anything, or, starting to do anything for the young, those elementary school students?
So a couple of our ceasefire schools are elementary schools.
Nice. Okay.
So when you become a ceasefire school, the coordinator in the school chooses the students that they want, and they get trained on conflict resolution.
Nice.
They get trained on how to be peaceful. They get trained.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you won't be able to get the t-shirt if you don't go through the training.
Right.
And the training is teaching these young kids, and we always want to get them when they're young, to be able to learn how to be able to talk it out, how to be peaceful, how to stop within that conflict and be like, let me hear what you got to say.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that we started with is it's not a punk. You're not a punk to walk away.
Yeah.
My
husband says that
hardest thing to do is to walk away.
That's the toughest thing you can do.
That's the toughest thing to do. Yep. You're a gangster if you could walk away from a situation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And people don't understand, oh, you're a punk. No, you're not a punk, because you're going home and you're living, and you're able to live another day. And then the next day, you may see that person again. Like, all right, how many times you grown up, right? You get into it with your friends. Y'all fighting, y'all do everything, get into it, fist fights and everything. And then afterwards, 5 minutes later, y'all sitting there talking and chilling and killing because y'all friends.
Right. You just mad for a second.
Bro, I fought back when I was probably like 13 or 14 at the time. Me and my buddy fought in the alley over a basketball game for felt like 3 hours. We was out there kicking each other, playing Atari. Playing Atari that night. You know
what I'm saying? Because for one, you have an innate ability to connect to somebody else and know that this is not who we really are. This is the moment.
Yeah.
This is the moment. Right. It's not who we really are.
Great point. That's a great point. It's the moment.
It's just the moment. You have a lot of brothers and sisters over in the state penitentiary right now, or city penitentiary, saying, if I could get that moment back.
Right.
If I could get that moment back, I wouldn't be here, because that wasn't me. That was the moment.
Right.
So what we're saying is, we want to get y'all before it gets to that moment.
Right.
Before it gets to that moment, let me show you how to be peaceful.
Yeah.
Let me show you how to tap into your inner peace.
Right.
Because if I can get you before that moment, when that moment comes, you are now armed.
Yeah.
It's a way to be like, whoa, wait, stop, wait a minute, wait. Before we go there, let's talk. Let's stop here, because I don't want to end up thinking 20 years from now in the state penitentiary because I let that moment rule.
Oh yeah.
That situation go. It was just that moment.
Yep, made a permanent decision with a temporary feeling.
Yes. You doing 20 years of life for 3 minutes.
Yep. And sometimes shorter than that.
Sometimes shorter than that.
If 3 minutes.
Shorter than that.
If 3
sometimes
minutes.
it's shorter than that.
Yes.
So
and this and what this movement is saying is that is not saying that you won't have conflict.
Right.
This movement is not saying you won't get upset, you won't get mad, you won't get sad. It's not saying that. What this movement is saying is, how can we show you how to handle it in the moment?
Right.
Because if you develop a way, and no matter what, you don't gotta follow the way we do it, but if you can develop a way where you can tap into that peace in the midst of your anger, it will save a whole lot of turmoil down the road. I mean, like, anger destroys relationships. Anger when two people are angry, you don't know who sees it. So your first impression of those people that are seeing this situation, you don't know how far it's gonna carry with them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because somebody could see both of y'all getting angry and mad and fussing and fighting, and next thing you know, that could be somebody that you're interviewing with 2 months down the line. You go, yeah, no, and you don't even know that they know that you saw them. They just remember you and be like, I don't even know if I
right. Oh no, I don't want them working here. They a hothead.
I don't want them working here.
Right.
Because I don't know if that's going to happen.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But if I can tap into the peace, and that same person that's seeing me go, hold on, wait, before this happens, wait, come, let's talk this out. Let's not do this. And that person is looking, and 2 weeks down the line, you're going to interview that person. They're going to remember, oh yeah, you was a dude. And they'll tell you, I saw you in the street and you were about to get into a fight, and I seen you stop and talk it out with that person. That's the type of person I need in my company.
Right.
Because you never know who's watching.
Ever.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Especially with little kids. You don't know what you did could affect that little kid for the rest of his life.
Yep. That's how they treat other people. Yep.
So all we ask is, what can you do to be peaceful? Because that's where it starts. Right. It starts with you. Love, peace, and light, and love. It starts with you. And then once you can exude it with you can start to push it to others. There's no way, and I say this all the time, there is no way that I feel I can come to somebody and tell them I love you, bro, and they go, F you. Unless you really got mental issues,
right?
The average person is going to be like, they may not say I love you back, but they're not going to want to be violent with me.
Right? They'll be like, oh man, gone.
That's the worst that could possibly happen. Or they can let you back, bro.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man. All that little stuff.
No, that's good.
But look, so I ain't want to mention no names, but the person that said that you was going that suggested
I see Keisha, I see it.
Oh, pull up.
I see Keisha pulled up.
So look, let me ask you this, man. Because like you're one of the guys that are like really out in the front lines, as far as like really being out there, being active on the streets, you know, with the movements that you're involved in. And unfortunately, you know, over the last year or so, we've lost a couple of brothers from other organizations, you know, that have been out there on the front lines. And, you know, I just want to ask you, does that kind of discourage you sometimes to maybe, you know, fall back a little bit from the work, or does that say, okay, now I need to work even harder because, you know, that's a soldier, even though he wasn't necessarily with our movement particularly, you know, it's still the same cause. So now I need to get out there and fight even harder. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I met Tater when we first started the movement. I was working at Community Mediation Center. He was with Safe Streets, and I met him and we talked a little bit. And when he was taken from us, I posted that this is gonna make me go harder. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna make me be out here even harder because he wouldn't want it he wouldn't want it no less.
Right.
I wouldn't want Tater to look down and be like, Darnyle, stop what he did, stop what he was doing because of what happened to me. That's not what he lived for. It's going to be, and you heard this in movies, you heard this in life, is that no matter what you do, there may be some type of, you know, ramifications, you know, stuff may happen. You know what I'm saying? But however, and I don't like to use but however, what are you going to do after that? Are you going to let it kill your spirit?
Right.
Because if you let it kill your spirit, you're not living to what the person that was fighting the same way you were was fighting for. So no, I was sad. It hit me hard. I had to sit down for a couple of days to be like, yo, man, come on. But then
you're human.
Yeah, the third day I was like, yo, we about to ride harder. We about to
he
ride
rose, y'all.
Right. we about to ride harder. You know what I'm saying? Because it can't win.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to say the word because we try to stay away from the word as much as possible. But murder can't win. I'm not going to allow murder to win. Because murder is a spirit. And if you keep letting that spirit fester, it's going to keep messing with you. And if you allow murder to knock you down, where would the Baltimore Ceasefire movement be now if we sat back and be like, all right, we done. Like it's whatever. Because it's so many movements and organizations out here doing the work. If they stop doing the work, you would see much more murders than what it is now.
Right.
It would
probably. But I don't think people realize that.
Right.
I think people, look at it as, oh well, they're not really, because you don't know about all these organizations. Because again, myself, I was educated tonight, hugely educated, and it's not like I'm not from the Maryland area.
Right.
But again, and it's not like I didn't go to a church in the city. I didn't have family that lived on Guilford Avenue. I lived in the county. So the impact was a little bit different. It did not impact me like that. And usually you're not aware until it impacts you personally, right?
Right.
So when you're educating like this, and I think that's, again, people realize, you know what? Oh, wow. Okay. There is something on that foundation that's holding it up, because that's what you're doing.
Right.
Y'all, these organizations are foundational organizations that are planting seeds all over Baltimore City.
Yep.
And those seeds, need to be nourished by the community. Whether it's, the churches, the people, whomever, the school systems, but y'all are planting the seeds.
Right.
You're not just taking it as, okay, we're only planting, okay, it's dormant season right now, it's snowing, so no murders are going to happen. Y'all are planting.
Nobody's going to come out the snow.
Exactly.
Right.
We good. It's going to snow for 3 days. We good.
They're planting evergreens. Okay.
That's what we're doing.
That's how I'm looking at it. Like, y'all are planting evergreens. Those pine needles are just falling so that, it could just grow and it doesn't stay dormant. It still is green,
Right.
When it gets cold, it still has life, peace.
It still has, it's a blueprint. It's a blueprint. And I tell people all the time. Yes. So I'm 53 years old. I'm not.
You're young.
You know what I'm saying? But it's going to come a time where I'm going to have to sit down and not be in the streets like I am now. Right. And I tell people this all the time. Look, I honestly believe there's going to be a time where there's going to be no murder in Baltimore City if people keep doing the work. All right. Mm-hmm. So let's just say we're in 2022 now. Let's just say in 2045, there's no murder at all, right? And nobody's getting killed or whatever. And then maybe 30 years after that, 2070, 2075, the murders start to creep back up. Somebody could say, I remember back in 2022, there was a movement that started, and they talked about nobody kill anybody, and they talked about peace, they talked about love. Let's go back and see what they did. And it would be here for them to start again in 2075 if the murders crept back up. Because you do the work now, and if the work is not just for us, it's for everybody coming behind us.
Right. It's for the future.
It's for the future. It's going to be here. Somebody's going to talk about Baltimore ceasefire in the year 3000. Because when you talk about peace, you talk about love, everything has its place and it's now written.
Yes. Right.
And it's not just, and the thing about it is, it wasn't just Baltimore. Here's the funny part. When we first started, like, and I tell a story all the time, and Ericka loves telling the story too. When we first started, we started pitching it to everybody. The politicians, the mayor at the time, was Catherine Pugh. We were pitching it. We were like, this is what's going to happen. And a lot of people was like, okay, that sounds cool. Talk to us on Monday. You know what I'm saying? Let us know how it went. You know, the news stations was like, it's cool. It sounds good and blah, 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 right? So we were like, all right, cool. All right, we're going to continue doing what we're doing. And then HBO came to town. And HBO got in contact with the mayor first and was like, hey, and she thought they were going to be there for her. They asked her, do you know these cats that are these Baltimore ceasefire cats?
Yes.
We want to know what they're doing.
I love it.
Next thing you know, Catherine was like, "Oh, I do know and blah blah blah." The next thing you know, she started coming around like, "Hey, we want to be involved." And then all the news stations were still like, "We don't know," until South Africa, Spain, Portugal, Mexico, Bolivia, all these places, China, started tweeting about what's going on in Baltimore right now. Somebody's talking about 72 hours and nobody getting killed in a place that has had 300 some odd murders over the past couple of years. What is going on? And the communities get involved? What is this?
Right.
But it was one of those things where now it's not just Baltimore that knows about it. A lot of people know about it. Right now, Central Congo does a ceasefire weekend.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's something that we put into place for the residents of Baltimore because it's Baltimore's movement. But if something is to happen, it's already written in stone for them to be able to go back to it when needed.
Right.
So it's funny that you mentioned that, bro. I used to a few years ago, I used to sit in on a show on Saturday mornings down at WFBR AM down in Glen Burnie called Must Be the Music, and we had Ericka on the show one Saturday. And in the middle of the interview, while we were on a music break, you know, so we had music playing, and so in the studio we're kind of chilling, and our phone rings, and it's CNN on the phone, and she was like, "I'm sorry to do this, but I gotta get up because CNN is on the phone." And I'm like, "Go do what you do."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you can't come back, that's fine. I understand that to say that moment made me realize just how big.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This movement really is when you have platforms like that are chiming in and that are just, you know, calling you on a Saturday morning, bro. This was like 11:30 in the morning.
Right.
And you get a call from CNN like, we need to talk to you, such and such and such and such. So yeah, I understand everything that you're saying. It's really bigger than just, you know, what we see here, and it's really bigger than 4 times a year. You know what I mean?
Right. It's much bigger than the weekends. It's all about invoking and instilling that spirit of peace into everybody in Baltimore City, because once it's like I said, one of the things that we tell people, tell 3 people about the Baltimore ceasefire, and if you tell those 3 people, you tell those 3 people to tell 3 people, and it goes on and on and on, and in that telling, you're talking about peace, you're talking about love, you're talking about light. So it's like you're spreading it, not even meaning to spread it. You're spreading information, but you're still spreading peace, love, and light, because there's no way you can talk about this movement and not talk about the peace and the love that we try to instill into everybody in the city.
Right.
It's one of no. I always say it. It's always got to stop myself. It is the greatest thing I've done in my life.
Wonderful.
And not just because of it's Baltimore, but because of the introspection with it I had to do within myself to do this work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It maybe go to some spaces to be like, let me work on that. Because somewhere along the line, that's going to come out, and I don't need it to come out in a bad way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
So let me ask you this, bro, because you've mentioned a couple of people through City Hall, and I'm not going to get into my personal thoughts about politics and those that have occupied space down at Holiday Street, but
Right.
Don't do it.
If Darnyle Wharton was to be our next mayor, 30 days in, what would be some of the changes that you would make?
You gave him 30?
30 days. The first thing, because that lays the foundation for everything that happens afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you do 30 days. You got to get to know your players.
30 days in, bro. 30 days in. I would have all of my city councilmen. I would have all of my administrative people in City Hall, all the people that normally sit behind desks and do paper pushing, and we'd be out in the community.
Come on, bro.
We'd be out in the community. I would instill. I understand you got to do some work, but 2-3 times out the week, we're going to be out in the community. You're going to be talking to the people that and not just me being a mayor. I want them to talk to the secretary they see when they come in. Because sometimes it's those people that are so far off from what the community is going on, because they're so tuned into what's going on in actual City Hall and the papers, and you got to go here and you got to go there, that they
sometimes doing nothing.
They forget how to treat the people that we're serving.
Right.
So yes, Miss Lush Lady that you normally work in the break room on the 5th floor, you're gonna come out in the community with me, and what you do here, we're gonna do out in Park Heights. Because I need you to understand that it's the people that put us here. Right. Not just the votes, but the people. Because the people want to see what's going on. So we got to go out to the people, and I love the fact that Brandon does a lot of going out, because he's from there. Like he came up in that. We was in 300 together, so there was no way he could go into that office and not come back out in the streets. I'm just upset that he didn't bring more people with him. Like you got those people got to come out. You know what I'm saying? They got to see what's going on, because you're not going to get a total picture of who you're helping until you go to where they need the help. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You can tell me that my house is this, that, and the other, but if I got you out there and you're actually seeing it, because there's something about seeing it. There was this one guy that we were out doing ceasefire outreach on Fulton Avenue. We was on Fulton Avenue, and he was sitting in the front of his house. And I gave him a post and a fly. And he was like, I'm going to get put out of my house tomorrow. And I was like, well, why are you going to get put out of your house, sir? And he started going into all the codes that people said it was wrong with his house. And he had bed bugs in his house. And he had a couple of the bed bugs on him. And he was like, I know I can't stay in this house, but I don't know how to move from here. Like, I don't know what has to happen. And and Jakia, who works for social work, who does social work, she got to calling people. I got to calling people. Ellen got to calling people. We got him a interview, an appointment with the person that's going to put him into his new house. We got transportation to get him there. We got people to come and get his stuff. We got transportation to his new spot. But the fact that we were able to be out there and see what was going on, instead of him just walking into some place like, I need a new place.
Right.
It made us go, he needs this now. Because sometimes you'll walk into social services and tell them what you need, and they're treating you just like the next number. But if I was the mayor, I got my deputy mayor, I got my city councilman, I got all them people, and we're actually going out and we're walking, not Canton.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? We're not in Canton.
Come on now.
We're going to be on Pennsylvania Avenue. I need you to see the legislation that you are trying to push past. I need you to see how it's going to affect this person standing right here in front of in front of the subway station. How is it really going to affect him? Mm-hmm. Because then it makes you go in and do your work better, because now you're going in doing your work with a vision. in a sight of what you've seen instead of what I think is out there and what I think they need. If I go in there with, I know what they need now because I've seen it, I experienced it. That made me that I might change some things around. I can't put this in there because that's not going to help them. That's in 30 days. That's one of the things I would do, bro. But I can't be a politician because you got to hold your tongue. You got to hold your tongue.
You don't do that well, huh?
I don't do well with that.
You don't do well with that.
You know what I'm saying? Fox 45 be sound biting me every day. Did you hear what he said today? My God. So, but yeah, man.
You sound like Bernie Mac as the vice president when he was running with
in that Chris Rock movie, right?
Oh
yeah. Right.
Too funny, man. Too funny.
Exactly.
Man, bro.
This was so good.
Yeah, this is as I knew it would be, man. Just great stuff, bro. And the thing that I'm really taking away from this, as I've sat here and we've talked for about an hour and a half now, I feel your passion. You know what I'm saying? I don't just see it. I feel the passion and the love that you have, you know, for the city. And I just love the fact that you, like I said earlier, man, you're out there on the front lines on a daily basis, man. And the one other thing I wanted to ask before we go, though, because I know that this is all pretty much headquartered in and focused around the city. But does the Baltimore Ceasefire, does it spread out into, you know, the surrounding counties and stuff like that? Or do you, you know, partner with anybody so that it could be a, you know, a Howard County ceasefire and stuff like that?
Well, like I said, who did it? Another county did it. Like we, if you want to do it in the county, like I know we're primarily centrally based in the city, but if somebody wants to do it in any county, we give them all the need. Here's a logo. Here's a flyer. Here's all the JPEGs you need to switch it up the way you want to do it. Because at the end of the day, peace does not. We just don't want peace to be in Baltimore City. If you need peace in Howard County, Carroll County, Anne Arundel County, you know what I'm saying? All the way out there, wherever it is, like way out in the boondocks. If you want
out there where Alenia live at,
right?
Well, no, but he said he was already. They was in Hagerstown, the prison.
In Hagerstown, yeah.
Yes.
It's a movement that can be adopted by anybody, and that's how we want it to be. We want it to be something that, you know, it can even be for your block. You know, you know what? I know I live all the way out here in Corpus Christi or whatever. And on my block, we having this, that, and other. Can I do a Corpus Christi? You surely can.
Right.
You surely can. What you need? Here's all our files.
So what do they go to the website to?
They can go to the website, or they can email us at bemoreceasefire@gmail.com. Tell us what they want. We'll send it to them. Because like we said, the movement doesn't exactly belong to the movement doesn't belong to the six of us. It belongs to Baltimore.
Gotcha.
And then after what, it belongs to the state. It belongs to the world. It belongs to the nation. Like peace across all boundaries. It don't matter. Like I said, we got Central Congo doing a ceasefire weekend.
Right.
That's between tribes. They over in Africa doing ceasefire weekends.
Crazy, man. That's crazy.
That is.
That's crazy.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
And Kesha asked, would you consider running for office? But I think he already answered that. He said
no. He said he can't hold the tongue.
You don't want to be on, CNN or the network. You know.
Right. Yeah, I can't. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. I think the very first day I'm popping off. Like as soon as Fox 45 says something crazy, I'm popping off. Somebody got it. They would have took me, sir. So you can't say that. Why not?
It probably won't even be Fox 45. It'd be his secretary.
Right.
He's been there for like 20 years. That's like, I'm not going out in the community. I live out there. You know.
Like, okay, well, we'll see you. Go apply somewhere else. Bring somebody else in, because one of the main things that we would say is that Baltimore, people think that Baltimore is resource deficient, and it's not. People just don't know where the resources are. And some of the places that offer these resources aren't funded well. So you have somebody that does pretty good work, but don't have the funding for it. Yeah. So if there's a chance, if I was in office, if there's a chance, I'll be able like, yo, what do you do and how can we help you? Because I know what you do is probably something that I can't do, but I need you to do it at the best way you can do it. Yeah. What do you need? You know what I'm saying? And people think, I don't know where the resources, there are no resources. No, you just don't know where they are. Yeah. Like I would take my phone. I call this phone my resource phone. And I try to put everything in that phone. And one day when I was out and about and I was talking to somebody, he said, he said, I want to, I said, if you weren't doing this, what would you want to do? He's like, I always wanted to get my GED. I went right to my phone. Here, I wrote it down. Call this person tomorrow. Let them know you talked to me. You want to get your GED? They could put you on the road to get it.
Right.
The best thing about that moment right there is giving somebody a choice. Because he could wake up the next morning, he could say, I can go back to trapping, or I can call this person and see if I can get my GED.
Get started. Mm-hmm.
That's the same thing with Christianity. God said, I can't blame the people that don't know about me.
Right.
But if you know about it, that means you had a choice. So I can't blame somebody that don't have the resource in their hand. But if I gave you the resource, the next day you have a choice on which way you want to follow. And I followed up with him. And he called, and he was on his way to getting his GED. But that's what resources are. It's not about the fact that and not around. People just don't know where they are. So one of the things we do is we try to have those resources available when we go out and talk to people. I got it right here in my phone. It's so much stuff on my phone. It's something nobody can tell me something that they don't want. I'll go on my phone and find it. Oh, I got somebody.
Right.
Or you want a job, or you want food, or you need clothes. What we got? Because I got it right here.
Right.
You just got to follow up with it.
And like you said, y'all had the young brother that needed a place to stay. All of y'all popped y'all phone.
Popped our phones and made it happen.
Yeah.
That's the main thing about doing this work. It's about the resource you can give people, how you do it, and when you do it, and the fact that you have the ability to do it.
Right.
It works wonders because you're helping somebody move on to the next moment. Yeah. Because you got a lot of people that are sitting there right now saying, I don't know what I'm going to do in the next half an hour.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to survive the next hour. I don't know if I'm going to survive the next day. And what all they need is just tell somebody what it is they need.
Right.
Let me make it happen for you.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, they have a brighter outlook for the next day.
Right.
And the day after that. And now they're looking forward to something. Like when we talk about ceasefire weekends, we want people to look forward to it like they look forward to Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Right.
It's ceasefire weekend coming.
Right.
I'm gonna be peaceful that weekend.
We get peace 4 times a year.
Right.
4 times a year. That's a lot. It went from 1 to 4.
It's stuff like that make us go, this is why we do what we do, because we want people to look forward to the next day.
Mm-hmm.
I want people to look forward to the next moment. I want people to have in their mind that I can make it to the next half an hour, or the next hour, or the next day, or the next week.
Right.
Because the resources are there, and I'm doing the work within myself.
Right.
And somebody else is actually out there pushing people to be peaceful. So it's all coming together.
Right.
Yeah. I love you guys to life, man. I've been rocking with y'all, like I said, since day one.
From the start, bro.
Yeah, and many of y'all, I actually knew before the the ceasefire movement started, because I remember when Ericka and Ellen and them had their little crew called the Baltimore Girls, man.
Baltimore Girls, yeah, it's still they still rocking.
Yeah, and just to sit back, man, and see where it's gone from then to now, man, and to know that you guys are still just scratching the surface,
Right.
I think is a beautiful thing, man. So that's why I'm going to make sure that you come back in January, you and whoever else in the crew. I can hold 10 on here. Yeah, and we're gonna reveal this, this
new logo.
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna reveal this new, this new movement, man, and the new direction that we're going, with the movement. I'm not even gonna call it the ceasefire movement anymore. I'm not even gonna call it that. It's,
we got one more ceasefire weekend to call the ceasefire movement, and then it's going to pop it.
That's it.
And they have a Baltimore Ceasefire website, man, and you can always go there to find out any information you need. They have an amazing calendar on the website where you can go and find out pretty much anything that's going on in the city during that week during that weekend of the Baltimore Ceasefire, as well as stuff that they may be doing between ceasefires, man. So all of that information is always accessible to you. You can always reach out to D, I'm sure, and any member, of the ceasefire, man, and they can let you guys know what's going on, man. So
we'll put you down. We'll put you down.
Man, yeah. And like you said, if it's something that you need, they're going to get in the phone and they're going to do this.
We're going to get to it. We're going to get to it.
You're not going to give us no bars, right?
You want some bars for real, yo?
Bam, here you go, yes.
You want some bars for real?
That's one more time since putting the
all right. I'm gonna give you some bars. It's because you asked for it, but this might be it. This might be it.
Hold on, before you start.
Bring him out.
I gotta do it like this before you start. Hold on.
You gotta bring him out.
Do your thing, bro.
I got you. All right, here we go. My poisonous pen style sticks like alcohol. More hits than the ballroom brawl because I'm standing tall. Over stack of broken up MCs. Smoking mic in my right hand. You can't get with these. Verses that I throw like darts. You got a weak heart. Don't be around while I'm ripping whack niggas apart. You're going to bomb it on your punk ass squad. Assassinating frauds. My freestyle leaves a mic scarred. It ain't hard. I bring that rough shit to your chest. Crushing crews at test. Putting booty MCs to rest in peace. Knocking out teeth if you got beef. Sharp like a crease. I get wild like a beast in primal rage. Ripping up the stage. You can't hang. This hip-hop slang is like a lyrical gangbang. Mad styles will make up, my mental files will get the crowd wild because I flows for a while, harassing your staff because I'm hard like math. Stay out my path, I'm giving out a verbal bath. A freestyle rain that brings pain to your weak brain. You can't maintain them, rubbing you out like stains. Like 409, you can't shine with my rhyme. I keep my verbs tight because I stays in the limelight. That's for y'all. You asked for it, bro. You asked for it.
Wait a minute. Pop-on. He dropped the mic and rolled off. Sexual chocolate.
You asked for it, bro.
You hold up, D. You've been holding out on me, bro. You've been holding out on me, bro. My man.
But you got him all worked up with his passion, so he was just like,
I had to give it to him. I had to end the night off like that.
That's what he did, Antoine. He gave you what you wanted. He was all worked up. He was talking about the ceasefire. He was talking about the movie. He was talking about, and then he was just like, "I know you're gonna give us something," and he was just like, "All right, I'm gonna give you a little."
I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you.
That was a be careful what you ask for a moment.
It is.
You want these bars? I'm gonna give you these bars, bro.
Right?
Shout out to you, man. I didn't know. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I do this little segment every week called Acapellas and Acoustics, man. If you want to come through, let me know. Hey, appreciate you, brother. Hey, man, let everybody know how they can follow you, social media wise.
You can follow me, Darnyle Wharton on Facebook. I am DKW on IG. You can always follow the Ceasefire page. Baltimore, Be More Ceasefire. Baltimore Ceasefire on BaltimoreCeasefire.com, and then Baltimore Ceasefire on Facebook and Baltimore Ceasefire on Instagram. All you gotta do is type it in. You'll catch us right then and there. Other than that, Band of Brothers public page on actually we're not on IG no more. I think I can't remember if we're on IG, but I know we're on Facebook. Baltimore Brothers, we got a public page, and our Band of Brothers, and that's it, man. And you might see me out and about,
Everywhere.
What it is, everywhere. We try to be everywhere.
Not everywhere, but everywhere.
Everywhere.
And y'all remember, it's Band of Brovaz.
Band of Brovaz. Yep.
Yes, BROVAZ. He's not trying to say brothers.
Right.
He said brothers.
We know how we say brothers on a regular.
I just had to make sure, because you got some people.
This is why you have her. This is why you have her.
Thank you.
AD, it's always love, man.
Always love, man. I appreciate you. I love you to death, brother. And I love you.
Thank you.
Yo, you compliment. Yo, this is great. I love this. I love doing this. This is my thing right here. When he said, he probably thought I forgot too, because he hit me up on hey bro, we still good for the 19th. I was like, oh yeah, no doubt. We still good.
Just making sure, always.
Right. He was staying on the humble. He was
right.
Now he was staying on the humble.
I ain't wanna put the fly out there and then you see the fly.
Right.
Such and such, CNN called. I can't be on your show.
Right.
AD, I love you, man. Hey,
I love y'all too, man.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your evening, man.
Y'all too.
My man. That's my guy right there.
That was good.
The bars. Yeah, bars on.
He was like, what?
Up there talking
No, stop.
That's my guy right
there. That
there.
was good. Very good interview.
Good stuff. As I told you it would be. Great stuff.
I learned a lot tonight.
As always. So, as I told y'all at the beginning, man, we have officially launched.
Yes. Look at that.
Keep this date in mind, Friday, October the 22nd. My man DJ Joe Storm will be on the ones and twos. My sister Nina, the original party girl, will be the hostess for the evening. We will be at the Lisa's Luxury Consignment Shop, 1501 Sawgrave Avenue in Baltimore, 21209. We will be giving out free samples of the drink, and we will also be taking pre-orders, man. And my goal for the first night of pre-orders is a minimum of 50.
Ooh.
Alini is going to come and order 10.
We have a birthday party, great birthday party, but no, you can count on the Washingtons for sure.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And any flyers, anything that you have, please make sure I have it so I can post.
Absolutely will. I appreciate that. And before we go, give everybody your contact information so that they can follow all of these movements that you got going on now.
Yes, opportunities, y'all. But please make sure you're following me on YouTube at Alenia Renee, as you see the name, and also Instagram at Alenia_Renee, because there's actually someone else named Alenia Renee. Really? Okay. Exactly, Antoine. You made the same face my husband.
Thieves! They're thieves!
Exactly. But please head on over there. Everything new will be posted and all the things. Or you can just follow. You can also follow me on Facebook as well under Alenia Washington.
That's what it is.
All right.
I actually try to do this every week. Tune in next Monday. We will have Tiffany J in the building from North Carolina. I know you won't be able to
miss y'all.
Always love, and again,
Thank you.
prayers to you and the situation that's going on there. My special guest host next week will be my sister who was tuned in with us earlier, Key Alicia.
Thank you, Key Alicia. Thank you.
Let Faith Ministries, VLF Nation in the house.
That's what I'm talking about. Wonderful.
It's gonna be fun, man. So gosh, we just came back and now you're taking a week off.
No, I couldn't help that one. Y'all know I can't help that. And hopefully I have my maracas by the time I come back. Because I'm getting plain ones, Antoine. So when you get,
I got you.
I'm only using it for access granted.
I got you. Make sure you catch the replay because next week's show is really going to be a good one.
Absolutely.
And then hold on before we go. I got to make sure I say the name of the movie right. Tacola. What's the name of the? We can't be my girl like that. Hold on.
Oh my goodness. I keep messing. I'm always messing up.
What's the name of the movie?
Yeah, because for opening.
Stripped from Insanity.
Stripped from Insanity.
We have the movie premiere coming up October the 1st. She, along with a few of the cast members, will actually be on our show the 29th. And that's
Okay.
I know you're probably not available, right? Because that's a Thursday.
Right, that's a Thursday, unfortunately.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go and beg somebody else to come in.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be a good one.
Because I promised her when she was on the show
You
that
did. I thought she was the guest, gonna be guest tonight.
No, not tonight. Not tonight. But I definitely want to get her on.
But I got you.
Yeah, but you're still coming to the premiere, right? On October 1st. Ooh. Come on.
I didn't get a ticket.
I told you the tickets were free. We're good. We are good.
I didn't have it. You never said, Aluna, I got the tickets.
No, it's not a ticket. We on the list. We
on the list.
Look.
Are you going to say, okay, you need to tell me the information because I got to tell the Hubbins.
It's for the 7 o'clock viewing as well as the exclusive after party. You still
got to tell me. You got to tell me things.
But I told you.
You told me. You got to tell me. Tell me. Because I'm like, I'm waiting for tickets. Okay, because I know when,
It's not going to be no official tickets. We're going to walk up to them and we're going to say, access granted, and they're going to open the ropes and we're going
to go at.
It's like
okay, this is what I need you to do.
Yeah, we're good. But yeah, we're good. I thought that you understood that it was confirmed when it was mentioned.
No, I'm old school. I thought I really did. I'm not gonna lie. This is new to me. You gotta understand. Yeah. Seriously, this is new to me.
Yeah. But for those that are wondering what the heck we're talking about, there's a movie premiere, Strip from Insanity. It's going to be at the Hoyt Movie Theater on Nursery Road. Yeah. October the 1st, there's a 5 p.m. showing and a 7 p.m. showing. And then again, there's going to be, a little celebration afterwards.
For VIPs.
Yeah, you can't get in that. Yeah, not just anybody. That ain't for anybody. You gotta know us.
Right.
Y'all pay me $25, I might get you on the list, but no. So I'm looking forward to celebrating with her. And again, we're going to have next Thursday, we're going to have some of the cast members on the show.
Nice. So, very nice.
That being said, we thank everybody for tuning in tonight. This was a ball. Shout out again to my man D. He was really, 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 really good, as I knew he would be. And continue to keep the Meister family in prayer.
Yes.
Some text messages that were going on, and as soon as I get off here, I need to hop on the phone to see what's going on. But with that being said, we will see you guys next week. Make sure you keep us locked on all of the social media stuff, access granted, the pod stream, acapellas, and all that stuff. We love you guys. See you next week.
All right, John. Night.
Be good, sis. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Got you. Bye.
Got you. Have a good one.